And like you said, the Taoiseach is down there, and he has been away for a couple of days from Leinster House, and that is common enough because he is the Minister for Foreign Affairs. But as seems to happen anytime he is away, the Fianna Fáilers get up to no good. While the cat's away, the mice will play. I think that's the expression. But at the Parliamentary Party meeting on Wednesday night, there was quite an interesting suggestion that Fianna Fáil should put in place a new deputy leader. It was suggested by Malcolm Byrne, who's a senator, which I think surprised a lot of people. I don't think many people expected it to come from him. It was backed up by a lot of people in the party who was saying that, as Foreign Affairs Minister, Micheal Martin is travelling an awful lot, and there needs to be someone there to take control of the Parliamentary Party meetings. In addition to that, you have the local elections next year, you have the general elections next year. I know, like you said, Micheal Martin was out talking to the media earlier, Ferghal. Did he have much to say on this? Was he shocked? Was he taken aback? Is he looking over his shoulder now?
I'm just laughing because he had much to say. He had about 6 words to say on this, because I asked him myself. I was here. You're not unhappy that they did this while you were not there? And he just shrugged his shoulders and he said, there you are. And that was the sum total of his answer. He didn't want to answer the question, but oh God, it's odd. He's not out of the room basically. Minute. He went to London yesterday for a few hours. That was his mission last night. He was over at a Ukraine conference. And all of a sudden, they're playing up behind his back. The lads in the back of the schoolyard. It has that feel to it. You know what I mean? The lads and gals, of course, because it is fairly widespread. Excuse the motorbike there. That's not Micheal Martin heading away yet. It is fairly widespread talk in Fianna Fáil about having the deputy leader ever since Derek Leary had the post, and of course he lost it when he got involved in Golfgate. Of course, now he's been completely rehabilitated and he's back and almost at the top table. But you must remember as well, before we had the mischievous Eamon O'Keefe, who was the deputy leader of Fianna Fáil, and he caused woeful hassle for Micheal Martin. He was basically using that position to undermine the leaders, what Micheal Martin thought at times. So you'll always have that memory of the deputy. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies even closer, maybe. But
yeah, and I think Micheal Martin seems to be quite against the idea, doesn't he? Like, anytime he's asked about it, he seems to say, no, it's not needed. Like, we've never had. He always says they never had one, but like you said, they have traditionally always had one. But he seems to be very against the idea, and I can hear him say what he said earlier. Like, I can hear it in my head, and maybe we're all spending too much time around these government ministers. But like, this is not the first time that when Micheal Martin's been away that they have spoken and they've held meetings without him. And last summer, actually nearly a year to the day, when he was traveling to the Ukraine, war-torn Ukraine, his parliamentary party met up and were discussing the direction of the party and all the rest of this. So it seems to be a bee in their bonnet they get around the summertime. But do you think Micheal Martin should be worried about his leadership? Do you think he's pretty secure where he is at the moment?
Do you know, ironically, I do. I know that meeting last summer, that was gas. I think it was 30 of them. It was a right cabal altogether. They literally waited until he was nearly 1,000 miles away in Ukraine. But on his leadership, I actually think he's secure enough for the time being. And one of them reasons is because I think people know he's not going to be there that long. So they're not looking like a young leader of, we'll say, other parties who could have a long stint ahead of them. I think it's fairly accepted now that he's probably going to go after the next election. I actually do think he's going to lead them into the next election, but God almighty, a year and a half or whenever we have the next election is a long, long, long time in politics. So I'm not sure, but I'd be fairly confident that he could lead them in. So I actually think he's, in the short term, I think he's okay as leader, and I don't think he's want to go much long term. But the funny thing of all is, around 2 years ago, we thought he was dead man walking. We were going to the September think-ins, and the first question on everyone's lips, how long are you going to survive? And we were looking around for people to see if they were going to be behind the heave. It never happened, and he kind of rode out that storm, and I think he's in a better place now than he was then. And I think he's not here for a long time, but he's here for the time to come, I think. Yeah.